Hello everybody, Sunday Adelaja here. Welcome back to Reconstructing Nigeria and Nigerians. Today's topic is the problem of democracy in Africa. The problem of democracy in Africa, especially Nigeria, of course, because it's not only Nigeria that needs to be reconstructed, Africa too. So what is the problem of democracy in Nigeria and in Africa? Well, the problem is that the democracy has not given us the much added value that we want to our lives, to the lives of ordinary people. Why is it that instead of benefiting the majority of the people, the ordinary people, since it has been introduced as the hope of Africa, why is it that it has only helped to widen the gap between the rich and the poor, and between the leaders and the led? That is the problem we're having with democracy in Africa. The truth, as I said, is that the problem is not with democracy as a concept, really. Maybe it works well in other places, maybe in Africa, in America and in the West, but we must find a way to make democracy be adjusted to fit our own system here. We must be able to develop our own system that is a different kind of democracy with a different specifics that will make it work for our people in Africa. But the way democracy is being practiced in Africa right now, the way it has been handed over to us, it has just been a failed system for us. It has not benefited not just Nigeria, but even most African countries that say they are democratic countries. Most Nigerians are abdicating their power and responsibilities, and even Africans, to their leaders, and they are hoping, and they are always saying, oh, the problem is with the leaders. Oh, we are hoping that we'll have good leaders. Oh, the problem is that we have bad leaders. Because that is not what, they don't understand that that's not what democracy is. Democracy is supposed to be about the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So the people themselves are supposed to be building their own country. They are supposed to be constructing their own roads. They are supposed to be constructing their own economy. They are supposed to be building the kind of nation that they want to see. But the way it is right now, they think that the only thing they needed to do is just to vote. Once they vote, then the government will do everything for them. So they are abdicating their own responsibility to the people, to the government, to the rulers. And the rulers have just kept on failing them. And that is probably what will keep on going on for as long as we practice democracy the way it is right now. We have to change our understanding of democracy, and we have to develop our own concept of democracy that will allow our people to take responsibility for their own country. In a democracy, it is the people that take responsibility for their actions. They take responsibility for the growth and development of their country. They take responsibility for their economy. They take responsibility for their advancement and civilization, even though there is a place for leadership, of course, but leadership only stops in the area of giving direction and casting vision. The key point here is that democracy on its own does not guarantee good governance, and that is what we must let our people know. It does not necessarily translate into automatic development or improvement of the nation. And we have seen that for 60 years now. We have been trying to make democracy work, and it has not been working because we are hoping that the leaders will come and do miracles. No, the leaders themselves are supposed to hand over the power to the people and tell them that they are the ones to build their own country by themselves. But at least in the Nigerian experience has proved that hoping for understanding democracy as the politicians being responsible for building the nation will only lead them down. Democracy is not an end in itself, but a means to an end. It is a means by which the citizens can attain and achieve all the things we hope for to see in our country by building those things, by building the country by ourselves. Democracy truly is a vehicle for a country's emancipation from stagnation and deprivation. However, it is we, the people, who must be the drivers of the development that we seek by embracing right attitudes and values. It is we who must put mechanisms in place to make democracy get to us where we want to go, to get us to where we want to go. So this is the distinct platform democracy affords us to take our destiny in our own hands and protect our welfare as a people, to build the kind of country that we want to see. Not to be demanding from leaders to come and build the country for us, not to be demanding from leaders to come and create lifestyle and standard of living for us, but for us ourselves to build the kind of country that we want. For true democracy to be achieved and sustained in Nigeria and in Africa, all hands must be on deck to make it work. All citizens must be empowered to be able to build their own country themselves. Consequently, as we practice democracy, it behooves us, the Democrats or the people who believe in democracy, to imbibe noble values, because it is without value system, without a noble value system, we will not be able to take responsibility and we will not be able to build a great country. We need to be able to take responsibility upon ourselves to imbibe values. Even if the government will not be imbibing the values into us, we need to be able to travel across the nations and across the continent and teach our people what are the values that are responsible for development and for civilization. And then, once we have those values, we'll be able to demand good governance from our leaders. But if we don't, have the values, there is no way we could make leaders to come with those values that the people themselves don't have. And then we must also, after we have the value, it will be easier for us to be able to demand for them to show respect for the rule of law. And we'll be able to then demand for the government to, to stop dictatorship and to be able to release and put the judiciary in a place of independence, so that the common man will be protected and there will be justice in our land. But only after the people themselves have been able to change their mind and be able to imbibe the right value system, would they be able to now demand accountability from the government. Despite all the points I have made in favor of democracy, I cannot but state my belief that democracy in itself is not a perfect system. Especially when it comes to Africa, the way democracy is being practiced in Africa right now is not going to do us well, and it's not going to bring us to El Dorado that we want. It's not going to bring us to a promised land. Even in America, which is the cradle of modern democracy, the founding fathers realized that democracy in itself is not perfect. It has its own defects and weaknesses, and so they built a system around it. They adjusted democracy to serve them, to curb the excesses of democracy and to guard against the weaknesses of democracy. That is why they introduced the college, the voters' college. And I'm going to talk about that a bit later in my next class. And we'll see how we too in Africa could develop a system that will be able to adjust democracy to be the kind of democracy that we want, rather than what we are practicing right now. But the citizens must take responsibility to develop values in themselves. Then they will be able to demand accountability from their leaders. For the love of God, church and nation. Peace.